Sawadee Krap and welcome to another episode here for the Funkit Pod. Episode 1 in the new Thai year. The new Thai New Year. No, in the new Thai year. So this podcast comes to you from Bangkok, Thailand, as you might know if you've watched/listened to a few previous episodes. And here in Thailand right now, it's the Thai New Year celebrations. Well, not that many celebrations. I'm not drunk. Not that many celebrations due to COVID. Usually, the Thai New Year, it's like a 3-day festival. Usually, you get the whole week off though, and it's like a week of just craziness. At least 3 full days of Songkran. That's the name of the Thai New Year, Songkran festival. It's all about splashing water. So that comes from the old traditions, like. In the new year, the children would return to the parents' homes and then would pay respects to the parents by pouring a little bit of water over the hands of the parents, kind of like cleaning the hands. It's just a show of respect, right? This then is somehow developed into getting water guns and shooting water at each other in like the touristy areas of the country. Not only the touristy areas, in like all areas of the country. Splashing water, driving around with pickup trucks, having lots of water on the back and just splashing everybody, and also like having them putting baby powder in the faces, also like with some traditional background. But that's all not allowed, at least not officially. The biggest tourist road in Bangkok, as some of you might know, is the Khao San Road. Khao San Road usually sees like huge water fights, hasn't for the past 2 years, and also this year, the water fights are not allowed. They tried, the police came, confiscated the water guns, made people like throw up or pour out the water. They had like those huge buckets ready. But now they just party without the water. So there's no regulations in regards to how many people can go to Khao San Road, or like if you can party or not, because people just walk through it. It's a very short road. It's not that long, and like lots of bars, like one bar next to the other. And now there's just music blasting out of the bars, and people just are on the streets with alcohol, partying. And what you're gonna do, right? In other parts of the country, I read and I've seen some videos that the police isn't enforcing that prohibition on water fights as much. So people are just partying and so on. Yeah, let's see. Then let's wait for Monday and see like what the official COVID numbers will be on Monday or the week moving forward. It's outdoors, so let's hope it's not that bad, but it's really in close proximity, of course, most of those events. So I don't want to get too much into the COVID topic. Well, actually, now it's too late. I mentioned already, so I'm going to get flagged on YouTube and on Spotify for COVID already. So whatever, let's dive into it. So the COVID cases in Thailand are spiking, just like in many other places around the world right now. We also saw like a record number of daily deaths, more than 100, I believe, for a few days, like each day. But I know that's a hard but to make, because like I just talked about the death, but it somehow doesn't really feel that real anymore. I'm not sure how it is in other countries, but if you go out here, yes, everybody's wearing masks. It's also a good thing, because the air in Bangkok has been just terrible those past few days. Like yesterday and today is better, but before it was ridiculous. If you looked at like the air visual AQI or whatever it's called. It was always in the red, like Bangkok and Chiang Mai, another city in Thailand, were like in the top 10 of the worst polluted cities in the world for a few days. So that's why I was wearing a mask when I went outside too. So but back to the COVID issue, right? It doesn't feel like people are that scared of it anymore, and I'm not judging about it, because I feel the same. To be quite honest, I still try to be reasonable, I guess. So I'm not a party person anyway, so I don't go to like indoor parties or whatnot. And I'm not sharing like different bottles of beer with people, because I don't drink. But no virtual signaling here, by the way. But just saying, like, so I'm not sharing stuff, and I don't drink from the same cup as 1,000 other people. But other than that, I mean, I do go to the gym. I train. I do my Thai boxing, Muay Thai training, which is of course very close contact, do sparring. So yeah, it doesn't feel that I don't know. I don't want to say it doesn't feel that bad anymore, even though the numbers would suggest otherwise. But then again, of course, like the new variant, not as bad or as deathly as the last one, even so now we see more daily deaths. It's a tough thing. Like the human psyche, right, is also a weird thing, because we've now been living with it for 3 years now. So it's like, okay, it's now we're used to it now, right? I think starting June, if I'm not mistaken, but please do check that. I didn't prepare that for now. It just popped to my mind. I think starting June, COVID is not a pandemic anymore in Thailand. It will be declared an endemic, which then will make travel to and from Thailand probably also easier again, which I really can't wait for, because then finally my family can come here again rather easily. I can go back too, of course, and return to Thailand easier. So that should be something to look forward to. But of course, let's hope it's all in like a reasonable setting. Yes. Right now, they're also discussing whether or not they should give monetary incentives to older people who haven't been vaccinated yet here in Thailand, because it's mostly older people who are now in the hospitals apparently and who are dying. So that's been discussed in the media. So let's see what we will get out of this. Okay, that was the Thailand part. So Songkran, so happy New Year in Pasar Thai. In Thai language, it's Savadi Pi Mai. Savadi, it's like your greeting formula. It's like Savadi Krap, means hi, hello, how's it going? Things like this. Yeah, and then Pi Mai is just the new year. Pi, year, Mai, new. So Savadi Pi Mai is Happy New Year, basically, in Thai language. So that's what you would say for the past 2 days and today, the day of recording. So it's like the 3 days of Songkran here in Thailand. So now also the date will change to the year 2560 something. That's the Thai year that we're in right now. Nevertheless, of course, you can always use the year 2022 because everything is it anglicized? Everything is romanicized, whatever we call it. So that's also no problem, of course. Okay. So that's been the Thailand part of the episode that I actually planned for way later down the road, but now we talked about it already. So let's move on from the Thailand part. If I'm looking at my notes, is that all that I have about Thailand? Yes, two things. So during Songkran, the New Year break, it's usually like a week of like 3 official holidays, but usually you get a week off, like from your work, people traveling back home and so on. And then the 7 deadly days of Songkran, that's when people always die on the roads, because in Thailand, just drinking and driving is unfortunately totally normal. I mean, it's not allowed, but it just happens all the time. And so during Songkran, when everybody parties and drinks and then thinks they can still drive, that's when most people die. Like lots and lots, like thousands, I'm not exaggerating, of people die during Songkran every day. Like thousands of people every day on the roads during Songkran. So I hope everybody's safe. Don't drink and drive. All those things. And I don't want to sound like a boomer, but I mean, it's been ridiculous. Ever since I moved to Thailand, those 7 deadly days of Songkran have been a thing, and it never changes. Like every year is the same. It's just ridiculous. Seriously. People, grow up. Hell. There was the one thing. The second thing, now I forgot because I got so mad about the 7 deadly days of Songkran. So yeah, never mind. If it pops back into my head, let me look at my notes over here. No, that's... Well, that's then it, I guess, what I want to talk about Thailand. Fair enough. So let's move on from Thailand, because it's not only a Thailand podcast here, obviously.